Jenny had never been comfortable with the concept of death. The idea of it had always made her uneasy, but her parents' constant pressure had led her down the path of becoming a medical doctor. She found herself in medical school, learning about the human body and its various organs as if there was no tomorrow. She was still uncomfortable with the idea of death, and when she confided in her friends, they dismissed her worries as just being expected of a doctor. It wasn't until Jenny met Rachel, a young doctor in training, that she found someone who understood her. Rachel was a medical researcher who had spent the last 4 years of her life studying tirelessly in pursuit of her dream. The two women met while working together in the lab and quickly became good friends. Jenny admired Rachel's courage, as she would often work alone in the lab, completely absorbed in her work. She was unfazed by the strange noises coming from outside and didn't believe in the legends of ghosts and spirits that her classmates whispered about. One night, while they were in the lab together, Jenny decided to play a prank on Rachel. It was an innocent joke, but one that would soon prove to be a terrible mistake. She made up a story about the lab being haunted and told Rachel that if she lit a lamp at exactly 1 o'clock in the morning and then threw a pen behind her, she would be able to see what was standing behind her if there was no sound of the pen falling. Rachel laughed off the prank, chiding Jenny for her childish beliefs. But the next day, news of Rachel's sudden death reached Jenny's ears. She had been found dead in the laboratory, the cause of death being a heart attack. Jenny was shocked and couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her friend had been healthy and had no history of heart problems. 3 years later, Jenny found herself in the same laboratory as a final-year student. She was constantly studying, trying to memorize all the information she needed to pass her exams. Death had become nothing more than an index to her. Brain death for more than 6 seconds would become irreversible death forever. It was just a fact. One night, while studying in the lab, it was already late, and Jenny was completely immersed in her work. The wind blew the windows of the laboratory, and the creaking sound echoed in the silence. Jenny was oblivious to it all, her mind consumed by the information she needed to retain. Suddenly, a muffled bell sounded from the distant clock tower, indicating that it was 1 in the morning. The sound of the bell woke something up in the deepest part of Jenny. She wiped her sore eyes and suddenly remembered the story she had made up years ago. But more importantly, she remembered Rachel. She was holding a pen in her hand and noticed that the laboratory was lit with only a lamp. No one else was there with her, and the pen in her hand became conspicuous. A feeling in her heart made her throw the pen behind her, and her heart thumped precariously as she could hear nothing but silence. Nervously, she took another pen and threw it over her shoulder, only to be greeted with the same eerie quietness. Every hair on her body stood on end, and she slowly mustered up the courage to turn around and look. There, standing in the shadows, was a figure holding the pen. It was Rachel. The sight of her friend, who had died 3 years ago, sent chills down Jenny's spine. She was frozen with fear, unable to move or speak. Rachel's presence was undeniable, and Jenny knew that she was standing there in the flesh. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you would never miss a new upload. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video.